My name is Shadrach, and
Ekes Rose.
uh,
Welcome back.
welcome back, man. Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Yes,
And
yes,
I
yes,
think
yes,
and I
yes,
think
yes.
we need to thank our subscribers in particular.
Yes, guys. Thank you so much for the subscriptions. Thank you for the new subscribers. Like, I
The
think
views.
we have. Okay, besides the views, we have like is it 4.4, 4.5?
Yeah, 4.5 subscribers.
Imagine that's huge.
Yeah,
that's very huge.
That's a great.
So thank you guys. Thank you for the love and support.
Yeah, but those who haven't subscribed, subscribe on the screen. Yeah, press the subscription button there and be part of the family because we are making history. So guys, today, without any further ado, we are hosting a very interesting topic. A topic that we all know.
Are you ready?
Yeah. By the way, today we thought the importance of how best can we contribute into making relationships strong. Identify some of the mistakes that we think they are so common and prevalent to the failures of many relationships. And among others, we felt like, okay, especially because people also suggested that on Facebook, on our Facebook pages and accounts, that maybe it's important that we also speak about sex and intimacy. So yeah. So yeah, we also felt that it is important that we come and share with you, necessarily because we are currently 7 years plus. Staying together. So maybe it's important that we share our own experiences so that people can learn. Yeah. How do we even start about this?
Okay. Shame. Okay.
Sex. Eh? So today we're discussing sex.
What is sex? King sex.
Sex is quite I think maybe we should be talking about sex, gender, and intimacy, because I believe that sex can be carried out by people who are different in terms of their gender. Because when you speak of gender, we're speaking of the social relations of people within the society. To say these are the roles of women, these are the roles of men, and we have lesbians, we've got gays, so everyone else can have.
It's called LGBTQIA plus community.
Yeah, and including everyone and plus, so they are part of. So they can all do sex.
I can spell it out for you if.
Okay.
Okay, we have LGBTQIA. Okay, we have lesbians, we have gays, we have bisexual. Okay. We have queers. We have intersex. Okay. We have asexual. What did I leave?
Plus.
The A plus. They are men having sex with other men. Okay. But just men with men, women with women. They are not. They are not actually specified, or they don't want to specify their gender. They're just men with men, women with women.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the teaching. Yeah.
I'm a social worker.
The social workers we have. Thank you so much. So yeah. So the topic today covers everyone. That's what I'm saying. It covers plus everyone, because we know we are having sex. We can't hide that. That in fact, that's one other dimension. That.
What's one?
Hey, but we are low man. So, so maybe we are learning differently, and sometimes we are making mistakes. Yeah. And we don't know. We don't know the way you learn. Is it? Is it the right way or what? So guys, we'll try holding ourselves, because this topic is quite sensitive and awkward as well, embarrassing and just strange, because some people wouldn't expect Shad Rose to speak about that, but we have opted
but
to
we
do
need
that
to talk about it
because
we are human beings,
and we believe that the channel is not only about us; it's about the society that we live in. That's why we create a platform for people to suggest and ask questions and all that. So we'll start firstly with the common mistakes that we think people are making. Where do we start?
Okay.
We can start with male or female or general mistakes. Common mistakes that people make, in the relationships about the sex and the intimacy. Because I believe one of the things that makes relationship thrive or fail, it's the approach to it. People don't talk about
communicating about it.
So
just to talk a bit about it. Communication in general is very important, right? And sex is an emotional state. It's more of a psychological game. Yes. So if one of the partners is not well or is not feeling okay, there's just no way that they could perform or rather have sex. In general. So if couples normalize like talking about their daily life stresses, all the challenges that they are going through with their partners, make their partners friends, I think it's going to help with the sex life, because you'll be able to understand each other more. And okay, say if maybe get another challenge at work, and then I bring it up to you, maybe when you're in the whole mood of sex and all that. So if I bring it up to you, you'll understand, my wife is not well emotionally right now. What do I do?
In actual fact, if one is to categorize, I would say one of the biggest mistake that especially women make, in my own understanding, and I think I've read somewhere they speak about it as well, that women sometimes tend to feel like, especially if you've been with someone like us, you've been with your partner for some years, you start to have what we call self-doubt over yourself.
Yes, that's very common.
You tend to feel like you are not the original you anymore. Yes. You have changed and all that. Maybe it's true you have gained or you've loosened up your weight, but like you were saying, communicating about it's one of the recommendations that we will be making at the end of this video, because we will be talking about the experiences of men, the mistakes of men, what you need to do to address and
the mistakes of women, and maybe share a little bit of our experiences.
I think that's what people want to hear. To say how do you deal with such issues, especially in the relationship. Let's make a disclaimer, guys. Sex is nice in the relationship, and
guys,
and you must do it.
Very,
you must do it. No, we're nice. Doing it, and we've been doing it.
It is here, so it's a proof. It's proof that we are low money.
It would legal Jesus, man. Yeah, we didn't do it. Okay. Really? No, man. So our point is that you need to make enough sex,
and make it not just enough sex. You need to make sex enjoyable. You need to make sex what can I say? Nice, enjoyable. You need to make sex something that is like, I'm getting like, how do I put it?
In my own understanding, I think, in as much as we feel like there are priorities of relationship, like communication, taking care of a lot of things in the relationship, the respect and the care and everything, sex needs to be added there. Yes. Relationship grows, and if it grows and you don't up these important aspects that I've mentioned, you are running a risk or the probability of losing it. That's why most people who have been maybe together for a very long time, sometimes the level of sex drive goes down. They don't enjoy it anymore. They don't do it like they used to do before. It's largely because the relationship is growing and you did not uplift this aspect that I spoke about. And sex is among others. So that's why we're saying we have dedicated our time today to come and share experiences, come and share common mistakes
and our own views,
that we know they know them, but because people have made sex so awkward that they are even afraid to talk about as partners.
Yes, you're right.
And we are saying we need to talk about it. It shouldn't just be a taboo to talk about it, because sometimes we make mistakes. And sometimes we make mistakes unaware. We're doing things that we're not so aware that they are mistakes. To us, they are the best. But because you don't talk about them,
then you will continue doing them.
Yeah. So, and among others, a common mistake that are made by women, by you guys, who think that
what do we do?
We don't know.
What do we do?
It's common, ladies fake orgasm. I'm not saying you fake it.
No, I don't.
No, but you do. So, so.
How do you know that?
Come on.
How do you know that?
How? So I'm generalizing.
Yes.
But I must count you. Are you not a woman?
I'm a woman who does not fake.
You are a woman. So yeah, at times we know. I mean, as guys, sometimes we pretend like we don't see it. Sometimes we pretend like we don't know. And maybe that's another mistake we're making, that we pretend that things are fine while they're not fine.
Yes.
I don't think there will be a day wherein communication becomes less important. Communication becomes important in every aspect, And when the advantage of speaking about it is that it allows change, It allows you to be flexible, because sometimes when you speak about the performance, when you speak about sex in general, sometimes people feel like you are attacking them. And especially if it comes from you people.
So I feel, okay, maybe I'm not saying I'm doing it, I'm not doing it, but I'm just maybe giving out not an excuse. Don't get me wrong. Okay. It's not an excuse, but some form of an explanation. You said from the beginning that we do not communicate. Do not to communicate about sex. And the issue of self-doubt. The lack of self-esteem and self-confidence. So we as women, we feel like there are certain changes that go through. That we go through in our bodies as we grow, as we grow. I'm gonna put an example with me. The time when we met, I was slender, sexy. Okay, I'm still sexy.
What do you mean?
Thank you. I'm still sexy, but then, I could have slender never gets tired.
So now you get tired.
I was no, I don't. No, I don't. What's like
yeah.
So like, and at that point, I did not have the stretch marks of which I have right now. I did not gain this much weight. I was just a slender, beautiful girl, slender nyana.
Can I join in?
Yes.
Okay. Because I feel like I need to come in, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. The reflections of sometimes, I don't know, maybe it's just my perspective, but I feel like especially you, how your body reacts to, I call it happiness, how your body reacts to situational experiences of happiness. at times I feel like it's because of me, and and my understanding is that if someone is stressed, they get to lose weight.
Yes,
and
yes,
and
yes. Some
and
do gain, but
and weight shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I made you like this.
yes,
I got
yes.
you the way you were, and I made you like this. So if I'm going to label that against you, that's the highest level of stupidity, because I'm the contributor into it. So that's exactly what I'm talking about, to say sometimes the sex drive, the sex relationship in the family, it's been hit by you thinking, how do I think about you having gained weight?
Yeah, hence communication. Hence communication is the best route, because I'll be there sitting alone thinking about all those things that are okay. I'm too fat. I have stretch marks. Maybe Vele, he doesn't like me. He doesn't like the way I look. Like, well, so not communicating. What if you don't? What if you think the way that you are thinking, the way that you were thinking, because you just said, "Oh, you are the one who made me like this," and you still appreciate me. You still love me.
And I will appreciate you forever.
Oh, thank you, darling.
What was?
You make me one of the cry.
Maybe someone sitting down and say, okay, you're speaking of communication. When should we initiate this communication? Should we initiate the communication before we date, before or while we're already dating, or before sex, or during sex, or after sex?
Well, anyhow, anywhere, anytime. But okay, this kind of communications, it's just as you said, sex, in as much as we want to run away from it, but sex is sacred. That is a fact, right? Sex is sacred, and I feel, communicating about it, doesn't really have to need to have a time frame. We can talk about it anytime when I feel like talking about it. Like as we're sitting right now, say, baby, do you have time? I want us to have a sex talk. Or there's something that is not sitting well with me. I feel that we need to talk about it, but don't worry, it's not you, it's just me. It's just the way I feel about myself. Then if you're okay, then we talk about it right then. I'm telling you that I think I've lost confidence. I feel that maybe you're no longer attracted to me, because of this and this and this and that. So I could know exactly how you feel, unlike, reaching to, unconfirmed conclusions. So it helps you telling me that you appreciate me and all that. It helps with me feeling good about myself, with me feeling, having that high self-esteem,
and what I think it's important more is differentiating between giving feedback and criticizing. Because I think it's not just about that, it's also about the tone that I use to address the issue. It may affect, because I believe sex is, like you said, it's a psychological game wherein if you're down, you won't do it. That's why you need more of motivation. That's why you need to do it not only in the bedroom. That's why you need to be more creative. And if your partner, if the union, the nature of your relationship doesn't create that conducive environment for someone to be creative around it, you are likely not to enjoy it. You are likely having some sexless kind of a relationship wherein you only do relationship. And this is the other mistake you're making. You ladies sometimes feel like when we do sex, you're making us a favor. and this is a common mistake, eh?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you dating back from 1940, or 1955, 1935. Like, it was the environment that we live in, how we were brought up. So we were brought up in such a way, like we felt like sex is actually initiated or it's loved by men, not by us. So when a woman it's perceived, or when a woman appears to to love sex, she's perceived as a
a slut.
Yes, a slut, or whichever way you may call it.
I once had a conversation with I'm gonna mention it, with my students about the etymology of knowledge, to say where does knowledge what is knowledge. There's a scholar who they call him Plato. Plato speaks that a knowledge has to be a justified through a view. So the argument was that there are some knowledges that we gain out of no experience. I mean, who taught dogs that this is how you do sex? Who taught us to say this is how you do sex? So the idea was that there is some knowledge that you don't have to only gain from class. We're speaking about personal endowment. So we need to change this thing. We need to change. That's why we're talking about it. We need to change how we run or view things, because even the time changes. Like I said, there are mistakes that we are making in the relationship, that the relationship grows, and some of the things we've been doing are not growing. Some would say that there's a honeymoon phase, there's a reality phase of your relationship. So if you find that you've moved from honeymoon to the reality phase of the relationship, and you can't pick up other important components into it, you likely run a risk of failing in the relationship, because the same way you carry out conversation, for a practical example, the way we used to run our relationship while we're still students is completely different now. And it's more different now because we've got a baby, we've got our own space. So if we don't pick up some of the things, if you don't talk about these things,
we'll definitely lose it.
Like I'm saying, we
and also the responsibilities they have changed. We now have someone that we should look after, 24/7. So we have bills, we have so like there's a lot of responsibilities, there's no longer that naive Shadrach, naive Rose, Wako University. Now you're talking to a woman, a woman that is well established, a married woman.
And I'm picking another mistake that not specifically ladies, but the mistakes that we commonly make in the relationship. We fail to use our old strategies to uplift our current situation. A practical example. In the past, when we were starting the relationship, there were a situation wherein you were calling each other daily. You don't call it anymore. You were sending SMSs, you don't do it anymore.
You don't do that anymore.
You were flirting, you don't flirt anymore. Those are some of the things that kills just the mood of intimacy. Those hugs,
yes. Those wonderful hugs, those 30 seconds or 30 minutes hug, even 30 minutes, you can hug me we can cuddle for like 30 minutes. That those cuddling things, like I tend to feel horrid. That's why most women tend to feel horrid. What should I say? I'm looking for a better way of saying it, right? So I agree, you said there's a honeymoon stage and a reality stage. So we tend to feel those lovey-dovey should be done in the honeymoon stage, while we're still trying to hook up one another. And then now that we were already established this relationship, we've built trust and everything. Yes, we feel like we have achieved. Yes, we feel like we've arrived to the finishing point. Hey, finishing point.
Relationship is a process.
Yes, it's a process.
It's a process. So that's why it's important that as it moves, you also move with it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Even in the bedroom, there are practical mistakes that we are making, and sometimes we're unaware. I'm just worried that I'm doing a lot of talking about the mistakes women are making, but you don't mention anything.
Okay,
am I that perfect?
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm perfect.
Okay. I think we were still talking about communication, like making your partner your best friend. Making your
be honest.
Yes, being honest about general things, like not just sex, not just sex or not just sexual expectations, but be honest with yourself, be honest with your partner, be honest about your wishes, your relationship goals.
How do you differentiate sex and making love?
Okay, according to my own understanding, right? Making love is when there is foreplay, there's kissing, there's hugging, there's too much touching, there is you telling me that you love me, while still while for playing, while for playing, and me having to feel you, having to touch you, the squeezing, the squeezing. It's about that. It's about that. That's making love. Not just penetration. On when we get to the penetration part, like you being all in, you being all in. So, sex is no, we just maybe it's lunch, lunchtime, and I feel like then I call you, we say, hi, let's meet at the house. Then when we get there, we don't even address, I just lift up my skirt, my dress, and we do the thingy. We just penetrate. That's having sex.
No, okay. Another mistake that I think many couples are doing. I would expect you to identify these mistakes and share, because I think I've highlighted most. But
yes.
Another mistake is you ladies. I don't know. Maybe it's because of how you conceptualize it, but not having proper techniques of initiating it. How?
Yeah.
I don't know how
honestly,
to put
that's a bummer. Honestly, like I've realized that most women are afraid, to initiate, to initiate sex, because they tend to feel like their partners will perceive them as,
you said it.
Yes, you'll perceive them as, as something else. And so they are so afraid to initiate it. Guys, these guys also love playing hard to get. So it's not only women, who love playing hard to get. Yes, we love playing hard to get, but also these men love to do that. They feel they need to. They have feelings, right? And they love to be pursued. Hey, pursued. They love. Lona, akere. So like the very same way we love playing hard to get, we should not forget to they love playing hard to get. And it's gonna be nice, you just you don't necessarily have to wear a lingerie or utamaya panty or like utamaya uli nude and all that. Just but just by a test to say hi darling, happy now.
Yeah, and by the way, the teacher is a student as well. She's doing it, and I really appreciate that. You're not afraid to initiate, so maybe that's what we can share. One other thing that makes our sex game more interesting is that anyone can start anywhere.
I initiate.
And we're not confined to doing it in the bedroom.
Yes.
We do it anywhere.
If I wanted
while traveling. Yo, Lena.
Too much info. Too much. Very much.
No, they need to know. But
that's not safe. It's not safe. Oh, that's nice. That's not safe.
Okay. So yeah.
So don't be afraid to initiate, guys.
Be creative.
Yes. Don't be afraid to initiate, especially women. Yes. No, guys, I don't want to lie, like I am.
And it works best.
And it works best because
7 years.
7 years.
I was still going. Yeah.
So like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to initiate. Now whatever. If I wanted, I really like a spy.
I saw some comment on Facebook because remember before taking this episode, someone asked, how do you guys do it? I mean, having sex and also go to church, because at one stage you said you are going to the same church and all that. And I want to answer that deeply, that in as much as sex is important, sex is nice and so forth, there are principles that still need to be conformed to. How are we doing it as students in particular? Because that's where it started. We have always followed the principles. So if we go into it, you respect the principles of whatever denomination, how they believe about it. But we're guided more by the Bible that spoke much about how to handle this, how to handle when you are on the periods and all that. So yeah, we were doing and not go to church and go when we are clean. So
sex before marriage is
a sin. Then there's no one in heaven. That's how important this is. Let you know, I didn't know. Guys, I'm taking your name. You must do it. It's quite nice.
Okay, so since you asked for it, now that, are you done mentioning our mistakes? Are you done?
I don't think so.
Let me attack you. Let me attack you. Let me attack you guys. Like, I don't understand. I tend to feel, you guys think